This is Tireo, and I am back, y'all, with another video and also another eye-opening message. And in this message, I just want to talk to you people about, something, that a lot of people don't really discuss. Things like this are not even talked about, church anymore, man. It's like no one cares about topics like this. And in this message, I'm going to be talking to you people about how the mind and body operates. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. In this message, I'm going to be talking about how the mind and the body operates. And the reason why I want to share this message with you people is because, as simple as this stuff may sound, people literally forget that Satan is after their minds. Like, people forget that, it's like every now and then, you have to remind yourself of what the devil is after in your life. Okay. And one of the main things, two of the main things that Satan is after is your mind and your soul and your body. And in this message, I just want to discuss that with you people, because just like I said, people forget that, the devil is after their mind. Every now and then, you have to remind yourself of how serious this is so you can watch out for the enemy and his tactics and the things that he do. Okay. And it's sad to say this, but so many people are literally walking around and their minds are controlled by Satan. Like Satan have their minds in the palm of his hands. People are stressed out. People are worried. People, it's like people do all of the wrong things. And they don't understand that you are the problem. You are the reason why your mind is so gone. Because when you make the wrong choices with your life, you invite demons and spirits into your brain and into your body. Okay. And I just want to go ahead and talk about this, man, because this is a message, that needs to refresh you all over again so you can keep a clear mind, man, because so many people, y'all, their minds are so gone. And I'm just going to talk about a few things on how the mind and the body operates. For number one, let's look at the mind. When we look at the brain, man, here it is, man. Listening to the wrong people affects your brain. I'm saying it because it's the truth. Listening to the wrong people affects your brain. And when I say wrong people, I'm not just talking about worldly people, because we already know and worldly people are automatically designed to curse and destroy your brain. But I'm also talking about Christian people, people in church, people who carry Bibles and people who will quote Bible verses to you. Listening to the wrong people will destroy and curse your mind, man. Because the wrong information is always designed to curse and destroy the brain, because the brain functions off of right information. So if you take in the wrong information, remember, you are taking that information into your brain. And that stuff causes migraine headaches. It causes pain. It causes stress. It causes worry. It causes all kinds of stuff, because your brain cannot function properly if the wrong information is being sucked in it. You see, another example is so many people love, worldly satanic rap music, man. They follow all of the negative rappers, not knowing that that stuff has mind control over them. Your brain is cursed because of the things that you are listening to, the things that you're watching on TV, man. The wrong advice that's coming from people have literally cursed your mind. Barely could think straight now. Seriously. Smoking affects the brain, man. Smoking. Cigarettes or cancer sticks. Weed. Smoking crack. snorting cocaine, man, drinking alcohol. All of these things takes a toll on your mind, man. It takes a toll on your mind. Okay? And this stuff causes your mind to be controlled by Satan. You see? And I'm just doing this message, man, to remind you people, guard your brain, man. Guard your mind. Okay? You got to understand this stuff. You are a human being. You're not perfect. Messages like this needs to be refreshed all over your spirit again, because you have to keep your mind focused. Okay? Reading the wrong crap all on the internet will curse your mind, man. Reading negative comments on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and all of these other websites. That stuff affects the brain, man, because your brain cannot function properly with you reading and listening to all of the garbage. Seriously. And here's another one. Our minds are designed to focus on the truth. Now watch this. Let me open up your eyes to this. If you notice something about everyone who rejects the truth, here it is. They all have something in common. Every single person who is walking this earth, every single person who rejects the truth and who is not into the truth, they all have one thing in common. Their minds are gone. Have you noticed it? You people have people that's in your family who have rejected the truth. They don't want to hear it. You people are even married to people who don't even want to hear the truth. You have friends who don't want to hear it. Co-workers. Your children don't want to hear it. Family members and friends. Husbands and wives. Boyfriends and girlfriends don't want to hear the truth. Now watch this. Your mamas and your daddies don't even want to hear it. Your grandmoms. Now watch this. If you notice, they all have one thing in common. Their minds are gone. Their minds are controlled by the enemy. Why is that, Tireo? Because Christ never designed for our brains to function off of garbage and wickedness. Christ designed my brain and your brain to function off of the truth. This is why if you stray away from the truth, you are basically cursing your own mind, man. You're doing it to yourself. That's right. When you reject the truth, you are basically cursing your own mind. You are allowing demons to enter your brain because Christ have already designed our minds to function properly from the truth. You see? See, this is why you can look at people in Hollywood and just know they're gone. Know it's a curse on them. You want to know why? Because they have rejected the truth. Seriously. This is the truth, man. You can look at satanic rappers and know that their minds are in the hands of Satan. You can look at a worldly person and already know their minds are in the hands of Satan. You can look at crooked preachers, phony gospel artists, pagan Christians who don't know nothing. You can look at them all and understand that their minds are in the hands of Satan, because your mind was designed for it to function properly off of the truth. So think about it. When you stray away from the truth, just imagine how much damage you are doing to your own mind. That's right. When you stray away from the truth, you are damaging your own mind, man. It's crazy. You are basically allowing your mind to become controlled by demons and evil spirits, man. Seriously. It's the truth, man. And the body, oh my goodness. Your body even functions properly from the truth. It does. I will give you the perfect example of this. Let's look at people who party in the clubs for a minute. When people party in the clubs, you got to understand what's going on to their minds and to their bodies. Their minds and their bodies are basically being destroyed from them jumping in the club, women backing it up, dancing, because they are going into a secret trance with the enemy in the spirit realm. Okay. And now their minds can't even function properly and their bodies can't even function properly because they are entering a satanic realm that the body cannot function properly in. This is some heavy, crazy stuff, but it's the truth. Your body cannot function in a satanic environment. It can't. It's impossible for it to function in a satanic environment, because your body was never designed for it to function in a satanic environment. Your body was never designed for it to function in a cursed relationship. Think about it for a minute. Think about it for a minute. A certain woman can have a child, and all of a sudden that child just comes out evil. You want to know why the kid comes out evil? Because the woman's body is not ordained to function with a satanic person, man. In a satanic environment, it can't function properly. See, this is why a lot of you people be trying to figure out, man, how come the relationship don't work? How come the marriage ain't working? How come this or that ain't working? How come my child ain't acting right? Seriously, how come when I had sex, I lost my baby? I had 3 miscarriages. You see, people be answering. It's like people be asking all these questions and they don't know what's going on. A woman who have a ton load of miscarriages, you got to understand, her body cannot function in a satanic environment and in a satanic person's hands, man. So of course she's going to have miscarriages. Or if she don't have miscarriages, she is going to give birth to some evil children. You see, because the body was not ordained to function like that, man. Our minds and our bodies have to be into the truth and into God's presence. That's the only way that your mind and your body can function properly. If it's in God's environment and also if it's in God's presence. That's the only way, man. That's the only way. You name one person from the Bible who functioned properly without being in God's presence. You can't name them. Remember when Judas strayed away from Christ? What happened to Judas? The Bible says that Satan entered Judas' mind and Satan entered Judas' body. When Judas strayed away from Christ, Judas became demon possessed by Satan. And then he betrayed Christ, and then Judas hung himself. Why? Because once again, it was already preordained for our minds and bodies to function into the truth. So when Judas strayed away from Christ, if you notice what happened, he hung himself. He couldn't even think straight. He couldn't think straight. Here it is. Remember Pharaoh? All of the people who was working for Pharaoh were straight wicked and satanic. Why? Because remember, the mind and the body cannot function properly in a satanic environment. Pharaoh's kingdom was a satanic environment, and everybody who was working for Pharaoh was up under a curse, man. They couldn't even think straight. Them people were so gone in the mind, they was worshiping pagan gods. Do you see what I'm saying now? Do you see what I'm saying? They were so gone in the mind to whereas they was worshiping satanic gods, because your mind and your body cannot function properly in satanic environments, man. It can't happen because God's presence is not there. So if God's presence is not there, your mind and your body is already destroyed. It's already destroyed. Look at Samson. Look at Samson. Samson was a strong brother. But when Samson hooked up with Delilah, what happened to him? Remember, he strayed away from God's presence. And when he strayed away from God's presence, Samson could not think straight anymore, to where he started telling Delilah all his secrets. Because here it is. Your mind and your body cannot function properly without the presence of God, man. Some heavy stuff, but it's the truth. Everybody who strayed away from God's presence in the Bible destroyed themselves. They couldn't think straight. Look at David. David strayed away from God and had sex with Bathsheba, and right after that he committed murder and adultery because he strayed away from God's presence. When you stray away from the presence of God, you can't think straight. And see, this is why you folks can't think straight, because you're trying to think straight in satanic environments. You're trying to think straight in satanic relationships that's not ordained by God. It's impossible for you to think straight when you're in a satanic relationship, a satanic marriage, a satanic environment. You can't think straight. Here it is. That's like a person going to prison. When a person goes to jail, they can't think straight. You want to know why? Because prison is a satanic environment. The moment you enter prison, your mind is on a whole nother level now. It's gone because the presence of God is not there. Do you see what I'm saying? This is some serious stuff. And if you notice, when Jesus Christ was walking the earth, he never had problems. Why? Because Jesus Christ stayed in the presence of God throughout his whole journey. So of course, Jesus was able to think straight. That's why you never saw Christ making any crazy decisions. Here it is. We already know Christ was perfect, but you got to understand how he walked his walk. You see? That's right. You never saw Christ going through craziness. It's just the truth, man. You cannot think straight. Your mind cannot function properly if you are in satanic environments, man. It's impossible. And see, this is why a lot of you people be cursing yourselves, because you try to make relationships work that's not ordained. You get around these cursed people and all they are doing is cursing your mind and your body. It's not supposed to work. It will never work because it wasn't God's will. Okay? Your mind and your body cannot function properly if it's not into the truth of God. If you are not into God's presence, and if your mind and body is not into God's presence, and if you are not into God's truth, you cannot think straight. It's impossible for you to think straight. Think about it. You want to know why half of the people in church are mentally crazy and gone in the head and they can't think straight? Because look at the environment that they're in. They are in a pagan church and the pastor is telling them nothing but lies. You cannot think straight. Think about it. You can't think straight. You don't even know the truth. You're lost in religion. Because your mind and your body cannot function properly if you are not into the truth. And people, this is just some serious information. And I know, and I already know a lot of you don't know this, but it's just the truth. Your mind and your body cannot function properly if you are not into the truth and if it's not in God's presence. Look at Solomon. When Solomon strayed away from God and he started having sex with all of those pagan women, his mind was gone. He couldn't think straight anymore. It was over for him, and that caused God's anger to be upon him. This is the truth, man. You want to know why the Apostle Paul went to the end? Because Paul knew this secret. He knew this. As long as Paul kept his mind in God's presence, Paul already knew that was going to bless his mind and his body. Because Paul even knew how the mind and the body functions and operates, man. That's right. This is why Jesus said you got to be born again. You want to know why you got to be born again? Because you cannot be trying to follow God in satanic environments, man. Okay? You're going to automatically curse your own mind and soul. You got to be born in the spirit. See? You got to, and see, this is why God also said those who must worship him must worship God in what? Spirit and in truth. There it is. Look at that with an open eye. Those who must worship God must worship him in spirit and in truth. So here it is. If you are not walking in the truth of God, you're basically cursing your mind and your body, because our minds and bodies was never designed for us to function off of the lies. Your mind and your body can't function off of the lies. It can't. Every single person in Hollywood who follows Satan, they curse themselves and they die before their time, because the mind and the body cannot function off of Satanism. The mind and body cannot function off of crack, Whitney Houston. The mind and the body cannot function right off of you banging a bunch of women and you die and get AIDS. Easy-E. Do you see what I'm saying? Your mind and your body can't function, man. It gotta be able to function in God's spirit. Those who must worship God must worship him in spirit and in truth. You gotta walk in the truth. That's the only way you people will have a serious peace of mind, because you gotta walk in the truth. You have to. You have no choice. Now, you can either keep rejecting truth, you're gonna curse your mind. Every time you reject the truth, you are basically cursing your mind and your body. That's right. So many people be having so many problems in their minds and in their bodies because they're not walking in the truth. Christ already gave us the basic instructions before leaving earth. Those who must worship him in his spirit and in his truth. That's the only way your mind and your body can function properly, if you are walking in God's spirit and in his truth. That's just a done deal with that, man. Seriously. So with all of that being said, y'all, I had to hit y'all with this eye-opening, serious and truthful message, man. So y'all be cool. Peace.